4. So Baker Mayfield and Tampa have my attention right now. They win the division anyway. They look like they're going to win it again.
Yeah, I'm going to applaud you for everything that you said, because I want to say essentially the same stuff. That Baker Mayfield was maligned for years in this league, especially at Cleveland. And what has Cleveland exactly done without Baker Mayfield? So Tampa Bay doesn't win the Super Bowl, and they're in a weak division, but they go to the playoffs all the time. Baker Mayfield wins games. That run on 4th and 10 was spectacular last night. And after that, he completed 5 passes in a row. So, what are we talking about here? The guy is a good professional quarterback who wins games. So let me go over to Houston now, because Houston is a disappointing team. They're going in the wrong direction right now. 6 of their last 8 games over 2 seasons, they've scored 20 or fewer points. Right now, they have the fewest points in all of football. They were a sexy pick last year because C.J. Stroud had a great rookie year. But he went the wrong direction last year, and he's continuing that. In the second half last night, Mike, he completed 5 passes for 76 yards. That's nothing. And the defense that they have that everybody is salivating about and slobbering over allowed an 80-yard, 11-play drive in the last 2 minutes. So how good was that? The answer is it wasn't very good.
You know what? I'm not ready to bury them yet. I think Houston can still be okay, particularly in that division. I think they will be.
Yeah,
they have
burying
the
them for last
problem
night.
offensively that a lot of teams have with a defensive coach. They don't score enough points. You're right about that. But I'm not ready to bury them. You are. We're going to keep that in mind over the next couple of weeks. Let's move to last night's late game, in which the Chargers beat the Raiders 20-9 long after Tony was asleep. Justin Herbert threw 2 first-half touchdown passes. The Chargers picked off Geno Smith 3 times, including once in the end zone. Fabulous play in the fourth quarter. Tony, the Chargers are now the only 2-0 team in the AFC West with wins over 2 division opponents. Are you sold on them?
Am I sold on them? I'm not quite sold on them, but let's put the under contract sign out, because I'm close to being sold on them. They beat Kansas City at a neutral site in Brazil. Then they went to Las Vegas and they beat the Raiders, and they beat them comfortably. So as you say, they're 2-0 in division, and they haven't played at home yet. And it appears that they have now in Justin Herbert the guy they thought they were going to get when they drafted him 6 years ago. All right? I mean, he's got 5 touchdown passes and no interceptions. And last year he had 23 touchdown passes and just 3 interceptions. And a lot of this is Jim Harbaugh. The flowering of Justin Herbert was not until Jim Harbaugh got there. Before Harbaugh got there, he had 42 interceptions in 4 years, and now he has 3 in a year plus. And this, Mike, as you know, because you love Harbaugh,
I do.
This is why you hire Jim Harbaugh, to fix your quarterback. And the other reason you hire him is because he makes improvements quickly, which he did at Stanford, which he did with the 49ers, which he did at Michigan, and which he's doing now with the Chargers. And so you hire him even though maybe you think he's a loon. But you hire him because it works.
You know where I wanted to hire him? You know, I screamed about that for years. Hire him. They'd gotten rid of Eberflus a year earlier. They could have hired him. It's H&H. It's Herbert and Harbaugh. That, yes, I am bullish on the Chargers. And you know, in previous years, for decades, back to when you and I were working sports writers, I would say stop with the Chargers. Because they take a nap.
Take a nap.
They do.
They take a nap.
They're not going to take a nap under Harbaugh because he's not going to let them. And I'm not giving up on the Chiefs yet. And Denver's really good. Denver got hosed because they would be 2-0. They got hosed. That's the only way I see it. And they're going to get Denver. That's going to be a nice matchup coming in week 3.
But that's at home.
That's at home
for the Chargers.
Yeah. They got it at home.
I wish it was in San Diego, but it's in L.A. That's the way it works these days.
Well, we still call it San Diego, you and I, and we will call it San Diego.
Yep. Let's move to Tom Brady in his dual role as broadcaster and team owner. He broadcasts for Fox, and he owns a piece of the Raiders. Last night, Brady looked like Beau Brummel in a jacket and tie, sitting in a Raiders coaching booth on a headset. This is not illegal by NFL rules, but it is causing a stir. Wilbon, Brady in the booth wearing a headset. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
Brady in the booth wearing a headset's nothing. Nothing, a waste of time. And I thought last night, wow, this is like Sean Connery, 1964, in a booth with a headset. I don't care about that at all. The question is, what happens during the week before we get, and usually, and you know about this, having been involved in crew and discussions. I'm going to turn this over to you.
That's right.
Look, it's a terrible appearance of impropriety. I can't say there's any impropriety. I don't know. I mean, there were some people on television this morning saying they figure Brady's cheating because he always was involved in other cheating scandals. I'm not going there. The appearance of impropriety is enough that the NFL should say, no, we're not going to have this. Any improprieties, insider trading, that if Brady or anybody else wanted to, and you got information during the week, and then you were in meetings with people on whatever you met Friday, Saturday, you could divulge state secrets. You could have favorite players on other teams. The appearance of impropriety and conflict of interest. Now, you know this intimately because you sat in on these. What do you think?
Well, let me talk. I agree with you about the appearance of impropriety. I do not think this is a big deal yet, and I see that the NFL is trying to diffuse it. I do not think it's cheating. I do not think it's awful, but I think it looks bad.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're in a broadcast crew, in order to make the broadcast better, you have access to players and to coaches that other people don't have, because you're asking a lot of questions about a lot of topics and you're gleaning information. And even though Brady doesn't do it in person and he does it electronically, he still has access to all these players. If he has, Mike, and I'm going to assume you agree with me on this, if he has a different agenda, if his agenda is because he is an owner of the Raiders, then he may be looking for certain kinds of information to pass along.
Yes.
He has a privilege that no other owner has in talking to these players and these coaches. And so you and I agree, it doesn't look good. Now, the NFL came out today and they said, hey, this is legal. What I would have suggested, and by the way, I would have had Goodell on it and not an underling, because Brady deserves that. What I would have suggested is to say he can't talk to players and coaches within 2 weeks of a Raiders game. I think that would have made, everybody feel good, because we both agree there's something that doesn't look right.
That's right. And Tony, real quickly, just to underscore this, we're not even saying this is not Brady's doing. The league has to decide the appearance here is what. What does this mean for somebody that takes his product seriously and wants its product to be viewed with a certain perspective? What does this? Didn't mean Brady's done anything wrong, but
No, he hasn't. He's going by the rules.
Yes, he's doing what he's allowed to do. Absolutely.
Let's take a break. Coming up, if teams had trouble with the tush push before, what do they do now that some Eagles appear to be going early? We're going to ask Jeff Saturday.
We'll also ask him whether the Bengals' offensive line deserves heat for Joe Burrow's turf toe.
By the way, our friend Grant Hill is a part owner of the... Let's get into the NFL trenches with our great friend, ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday. Jeff, we're going to start with everybody's favorite play, the tush push. The Eagles now appear to start early on several of these tush pushes against the Chiefs. What should teams, or what should the league maybe do about this?
Well, you got to call it. If somebody's ahead of the snap count, they got to call it. But let me put this in perspective. It is not abnormal for offensive linemen to anticipate the snap count that their quarterback is given. So let's just say, you get a hut for your cadence. At the end of the first hut, I'm going to start snapping the ball before that second hut comes, so that everybody is moving at the same time. We want to use that as an advantage. We want to use that as a weapon for an offensive lineman. So we aren't waiting for that last tee to hit before I snap the ball. When I'm letting that thing rip and let's go. So I think they're trying to anticipate the snap count, so the guards were getting a little bit ahead. They will officiate it down. I am a fan of the tush push. I have put this on record a number of times.